Imagine getting married, and the second you say, "I do," the law just hits pause on your entire existence. Like, you can't sign a contract, you can't keep a penny of your own wages, and you can't even
Can't even be sued, right. I mean, that was the literal mechanism of femme covert.
femme covert, wow.
Yeah, it's this 18th century legal doctrine that basically swallowed a married woman's legal identity entirely into her husband's.
So legally, she just vanished.
Exactly. And today, in this deep dive, we're looking at a stack of original letters, the raw primary sources, to see how Abigail Adams used really the only weapon she had left to dismantle that system from the inside.
Right. Our mission today is to explore how she fought for women's rights and education and even abolition when, like we said, legally speaking, she didn't actually exist.
Drafting the laws of a brand new nation. And Abigail writes him a letter urging him to, well, remember the ladies.
Wait, so we usually hear that quote and think she's demanding the right to vote, like a seat at the political table. But looking at the reality of femme covert, I mean, was this actually just a desperate plea for basic physical safety?
Yeah, that's the crucial context here. Under English common law, a husband possessed almost absolute physical and financial control over his wife.
Which is terrifying.
It really is. So when Abigail writes, warning him not to put unlimited power into the hands of the husbands, and famously stating that all men would be tyrants if they could, she's demanding legal protection from domestic abuse.
A legal safety net.
Exactly. She's calling out tyranny in the home.
So she gives him this brilliant, profound warning about tyranny, and he literally treats it like a stand-up routine. Like, he actually laughed at her in his reply.
He did. And because she had no legal standing to, force his hand, she realized legislative appeals just weren't enough. I mean, if the law refused to protect women, she had to build a backdoor to influence.
Right, which was education.
Yes.
Which is a path she had to forge entirely for herself, considering she was denied formal schooling. She was basically self-taught from her father's library.
Right, and she refused to pass that disadvantage down.
She taught her own daughter to read and write alongside her sons, giving them the exact same educational tools to navigate the world. I mean, it's like asking someone to build a sturdy house, but refusing to give them any tools. She was ensuring they had the tools.
That's a great way to put it. She believed that if this new republic was going to survive, if it was going to produce what she called heroes, statesmen, and philosophers, it structurally required learned women to raise them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she framed female education as the very foundation America needed to function.
And her framework for equality didn't just stop at gender, right? Because reading through her correspondence, she spots the glaring hypocrisy of the American Revolution almost immediately.
Slavery.
Right. Did her rigid moral consistency on slavery, isolate her from the other founders?
It severely set her apart. In a 1774 letter, she explicitly calls the practice an iniquitous scheme.
Wow. Strong words.
Very. She points out the profound irony of the colonists fighting for their own liberty while, quote, robbing and plundering freedom from enslaved people who had just as much right to it.
And she didn't just philosophize about it behind closed doors either. There's this incredible primary account where she enrolls James, who was a young black servant, in a local evening school.
Yes, and when a prejudiced neighbor tries to get him kicked out, Abigail aggressively defends him.
She actually confronted the neighbor.
She did. She demands to know how the young man is supposed to procure a livelihood without an education. Comparing her to contemporaries like, say, Thomas Jefferson, who wrote beautifully about liberty while holding hundreds of people in bondage.
Right, the contradiction there.
Exactly. Abigail's anti-slavery stance was remarkably uncompromising. She saw the moral contradiction of her era and just refused to look away.
It really shows how she navigated these muddy 18th century waters. I mean, Abigail Adams was just an unrelenting advocate for the marginalized, using her letters to fight a system designed to keep her silent.
She leveraged incredible intellect and moral clarity, refusing to let her mind be erased, even though her legal identity was.
Which leaves you with a pretty fascinating thought to mull over.
Oh, definitely.
Think back to that legal mechanism of femme covert we started with. If Abigail Adams had been given the formal education and legal standing of her male counterparts, would she be remembered today as a founding father?
It's a profound question.
Right, and if she had actually been in that room in Philadelphia, how differently might the Constitution have been written?